Hey, what's up, everybody? This is John Paul Flores coming in hot for the New World Podcast. So, today's topic is a very interesting one and by far is pretty controversial. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's a simple fucking topic. So, the topic today is work life balance. Is it real? Is it something you should subscribe to? Is it made up by people who are full of shit? We're gonna talk about that and just fix my microphone. So, let's start with actually, I'm doing a layout for when I'm gonna be doing podcast. So, I'm gonna do it by my personal transition, then I'm gonna go to the main content and the examples and evidences by my experience on why I think this is my belief and a reflective pause. Take a moment to reflect on our own experiences and conclusions. So I now have a layout format so that the podcast is gonna be decent, especially the solo podcast. So let's start, baby. So personal connection. What do I know about work-life balance? Do I subscribe to it personally? Do I not? Uh, I don't think I do. I used to subscribe to work life balance, but now it's just whenever I can work, I work. Whenever I feel I like to work, I work. If I don't like to work for a particular hour or particular day, then I don't work. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I have AI doing most of the work in my agency and the other stuff that I'm doing, which is pretty awesome, to be honest with you. All I gotta do is basically maintain things, and it is actually better if I'm not in uh trying to actively do something in my agency or in my company because whenever I try to do so, I just mess things up because I want to try this new thing, this better idea, this amazing thing that I see and I know I can implement. But the problem is if I always am implementing new things in what I'm currently doing, I basically won't be able to see what works or what not or what doesn't work. So personal connection, I used to be a biohacking buff, whatever they say or call it. Work life balance, I for the past I think for almost 1 year. After I wake up, I drink tons of water, at least 1 liter of water. Actually, today I bumped that to at least 1.5 liters of water after every time I wake up. And after that, I jump into a cold plunge. So I bought this portable bathtub, and I basically have a freezer, and that's full of ice. So I basically just add ice to the water, and yeah, that's a cold plunge. I stay in there for at least 30 minutes. Contrary to popular belief, it's not difficult to stay in those cold plungers. I mean, people are just, especially the ones on social media who are overacting. They're either full of shit or they're just basically weak, and I don't know how I can say that to a person whose whole identity is biohack because what you're doing, bro, is not tough. Uh, yeah, 30 minutes of that. Most of the times I am on my phone while I'm doing that. Most of the time I'm not because I'm scared that it might fall on the water itself, which is gonna be pretty dumb of me. So 30 minutes of that, it's pretty cold. And keep in mind, I'm from the Philippines. I'm used. What normal here is 40 degrees Celsius, which for you Americans or people who are on the nicer climate things, on tropical places like the Philippines, that's not even hot. That's just okay. 40 degrees Celsius is God sent. Especially now, that to I think Earlier this morning, the temperature was actually reaching 53 degrees Celsius. Some areas. Getting a little off topic here. And after doing that cold plunge, I don't eat. Still don't eat after I wake up. I drink a tall glass of healthy green drink. And yeah, doing that work-life balance for a while is pretty amazing. Actually sets you up, especially if you want to finish a goal. But the problem is, I don't think we're meant to follow that kind of things. Uh, I've heard of this from a YouTuber, so basically, and I do agree on what he says. You only have a limited amount of willpower every single day. So instead of wasting that willpower into preparing to go to work, why not just go to work? Maybe you'll get to do more things. Maybe slower, but at least you didn't waste 3 hours after you wake up into some routine that you think would make you better. And the great thing is, what happens if you go to a place that you won't be able to do this routine of yours? Do you just become lazy? So that ain't gonna be pretty good on your part, bro. If what keeps you productive is these routines, this biohacking after you wake up or whatever you call it, or this preparation, what happens when you go to war without preparation? When you go to work without this preparation, you won't be able to perform. And I don't think you would be able to compete to other people who can just go to work and put in twice as much work than you do because they don't have a routine. And if both of you go to a situation where both of you cannot prepare for your work, you'll lose. And if both of you go to a preparation where both of you can prepare for work, you'll still lose because while you're preparing, they're already working. So I don't think that it's a good thing, especially if you're competing in this market. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, how fast AI is developing. A lot of people are going to be out of jobs, and I hope you're not one of them because I like you to listen to this podcast, but screw you anyways. Kidding. Now, let's explore why the concept of work-life balance might not be as beneficial as we've led to believe. Look, times are changing. The world is evolving at an unprecedented stage. I'm reading a script here just to have a basic footing of the topic. Look, AI and remote work have transformed the way we operate. This fast-paced environment, clinging to traditional notions of work-life balance can be limiting. I mean, especially if you're a young guy, if you're under 30 years old, you don't have a family, you don't have a wife, you don't have a kid. I don't think you should be, especially if you're that young. I mean, you should first build yourself up, or at least when you're 30 years old, you have something to show for yourself. Uh, Look, whether you work smart or utilize AI, work-life balance, don't give a shit, or follow a strict work-life balance, one truth remains. Whoever can produce the most value for the marketplace gets the most benefit. And if, let's say, have a routine, and on that day you failed your routine by 5 minutes, or you forgot to do this or that particular thing about your routine, then I don't think you'd be able to perform as good as your past days because you didn't complete your routine. And I don't think you would be able to compete against somebody who doesn't need a routine to perform well. The myth of balance. The concept of balance implies an equal distribution of time and energy across all states for your family, for your life, for your social life, for your wealth, for healthness, for your job. And I don't think you could balance that well, especially because we don't know what we don't know. When we spend time with family, you can't actually just say, for 30 minutes I'll spend time with them. Probably not. probably gonna be about 35 minutes, 45 minutes, 25 minutes. You actually don't know because there's a lot of variables that just aren't in your control. But actually, basically the same with work. Let's address the elephant in the room, the excuse for laziness. Work-life balance, I think, is just created by people who see people like Elon Musk, people like Jeff Bezos, who work their ass off until they cannot stand anymore just so that they can achieve their ultimate dream, their ultimate goal. And there's gonna be a lot of people who won't be as committed as them, not even a percentage of the commitment that they have. And these people, instead of saying, fuck this, I'm gonna try and compete against this person, as because they know in their heart they won't be able to compete or they're just lazy to even try. Instead of trying to build themselves up, they just try to destroy the pillars that these great men have built for themselves. So they come in and say, hey Musk, you cannot work 18 hours a day because, that's just not healthy. You should just let most of your companies fail because you won't be able to work as much, blah, 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 blah. And that's just an attack of the weak people again to the people who are committed. Just rather, hey, don't work so hard because I won't be able to. You're a whiner, you're a complainer. Don't be like that, man. You know? It's like saying to a Viking in who's going to raids. Let's say you're a villager and a raider or a Viking goes to your place and was there to kill you. Instead of saying, I'm gonna fight till that, I'm gonna fight you and I'm gonna really know what you will say is, hey man, it's not healthy to kill people, especially at this time of day. You should go to sleep now. It's just dumb. Fucking dumb. And look at some of these most successful entrepreneurs and leaders. They often blur the lines between work and personal life. Sometimes their work is their personal life and their personal life is their work. There is nothing in between. You're either on the red pill or the blue pill. You're either working or you're not. You're either going after your life, fixing it, or you're actively working. It's hard sometimes, but that's why you need people who are willing to accept that, hey, maybe John will not be available because he's a busy man, and I accept that. I respect that. You need that kind of people. Look, studies have shown that flexible work arrangements rather than rigid balance lead to better job satisfaction and productivity. So people who can work on their own times actually will work better. Who knew? Let me just check my phone for a while. I hope you don't mind because I know you're an awesome guy. Oh, by the way, I have a lot of guests lined up. There's actually, I think, 5 people now that I'm going to be attending a podcast episode with, and I'll share more later. So let's take a moment to reflect on our own experiences with work-life balance. Let's try to remember the most important moments of your life, the best achievements that you've achieved. Remember those times. Maybe the first time you got an A plus on your test. Who doesn't? Let me check what percentage A plus is. A plus. It's not bad at all. 97. A plus. And A is... let's not talk about it. Let's talk about Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson was talking about work-life balance like it's a god, especially for this past few years. I think he's even getting some blood from his son. He's just sick. I mean, imagine being scared of that so much that you try to do those crazy things. 57 pills a day. That's fucked up, man. well, I should experience that. But hey, I do commend him for his work, and some people will reap the benefits of his research. So it's pretty amazing in that part. But he's been saying that if he had been who he is today while he's building his company, he would have been better at doing it. Probably not. He says he will be better, but won't be because there's this thing called just like when you're going to space, there's this barrier that a rocket that needs to go past beyond, and they need to spend most of their fuel trying to get past that. And once they get past that, then it's pretty easy sailing. That's where Brian Johnson is right now. He got past that. But he says he can save fuel, be eco-friendly while he's crossing that barrier with the things he knows now. Probably not, because as an entrepreneur, especially, he's in tech. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of variables that he doesn't know. There's gonna be a lot of server crashes while he's sleeping, people doing wrong things, things getting fucked up, servers getting hacked, and I don't think a man who spends a certain amount of time sleeping, I think 9 hours on his part or 8 hours, and cannot be disturbed because he's sleeping on a red light. And if he accidentally wakes up, then he's gonna feel bad for the whole day. It's not healthy. I don't think that's a man who you want to basically running startup with, because he won't be available most of the time because he needs to be healthy for the company. Look, as we wrap up, remember that the pursuit of life and work balance shouldn't overshadow the pursuit of excellence. It's about finding the harmony and fulfillment in all aspects of life, not just punching a clock. So thanks for tuning in. Remember about the balancing of the scales. And as promised, I will tell you the scheduled events. So for tomorrow, actually, so it's gonna be released this May 2, Thursday at 9 a.m. EST. I'm gonna be recording it tomorrow, so May 1. It's gonna be with Alex Fox. So look him up, Alex Faust. He's the founder, owner of Collab HQ. And next we have Tom Hughes. So he is a leadership coach, which is pretty amazing. Andrea Fryer, we also have her for May 10. And Keith Andrews, we have him for May 15. So I don't know when these episodes will be released actually. I will let you know on the next episodes, but they're pretty awesome people. For Keith, I think I'm gonna be mostly talking about his experience in military and his businesses, and how his life has turned out after being on the military. He's a veteran, which is pretty awesome. Actually, I want to be a her service in the Marines, not because I want to particularly serve my country, but because I want to learn the ways of the Marines, the discipline they have, the strength, the ruggedness. You need that in your life. And I'm pretty sure there's a 90% chance, if not 100% chance, that I'm gonna be super rich one day, just by the trajectory that I'm going. And just and I don't want my people, let's say I have bodyguards, to disrespect me because I'm just some punk who have money that can hire them. I don't want that. I want to be a punk who can beat them up. That's why they're gonna be scared. They're gonna respect me. I mean, I don't care about the scaredness part itself. Just about, there's certain amount of respect. There's only certain amount of respect a person can buy, and being our service in the Marines would buy me a lot, and I think that's gonna be pretty awesome. And that's all, folks. Have a nice day, and thank you for tuning in for the New World Podcast. And by the way, if you don't see, I actually got a poster there. AI Cynics presents the New World podcast. I actually ordered the wrong one. If you look at it, it's matte. I thought it was gonna be glossy. I ordered the wrong one, so I think I'm gonna be reordering 2 months in the future because I'm just super busy right now. And that's all, folks. Yep,